Hello, and welcome to Let's Make a Top-Down Shooter. This video is about using our GameInstance Blueprint to persist mission data across maps so that our mission table is properly updated after mission completion. So the first thing we're going to do is create our GameInstance Blueprint. So for that, we go here, we want GameInstance. We're going to call it BP GameInstance. And here we're going to add a variable named Mission Name. This will be a name type. And another one, completed missions, which means this one needs to be an array. And so we don't really want other blueprints to be able to modify this value directly, even though it will end up setting this value directly. So it's a little inconsistent. We're going to add a utility function, which is just complete mission. So mission name will be set somewhere. And then in here, all we're doing is in completed missions, we want to add unique, the mission name. So we're going to next update our BPI mission interface, the load level function. I want to now also include mission name, which is also a name type. And I'm just going to make it the first parameter so that some other blueprint code looks nicer. We need to then update our BP game mode. So in our event play or begin play, we want to get the game instance. We're going to cast that to our BP game instance, and then we're just going to save that. So that we can use it down here. So when load level is called, we're just setting the mission name directly. And then calling open level. Next, we want to update our GetMissions function. As a reminder, this function is called to just get the list of missions and their mission data, which is here. All right, to make this a little less messy, I'm just going to set this as a local variable, call it row name. We're going to need to drag this out and break it because we want access to is repeatable. So the logic here is changing slightly. Now that we have a mission name and a list of completed missions, we are only going to return the list of missions that are not completed, except in the case where they are repeatable. So what that means is we need a branch. If the mission is repeatable, or Boolean, we get our game instance, completed missions, if it contains our row name. That means it is a completed mission, which means we want to do a not Boolean. So now if the completed missions does not contain the row name, or the mission is repeatable, we're going to add it to the list that gets returned. Make this a little less messy. That's very sad. It doesn't, it's not equal. There's a few of those nodes that are like that. All right, with that updated, just make sure those are compiled. All right. We also want to update our mission tracker UI element. So WP mission tracker, WBP rather. And in our update objective function, in this true scenario, it is when we have called it and is complete and set to true. So in that case, we want to get our game instance, cast it to our BP. Oops. And then we're calling complete mission. So we're not sending a parameter there to tell it which mission we're completing, because when we call load level to get onto the mission, that is when it's setting the mission name. We'll go over the flow in a little more detail in a minute. We also want to update our WBP mission table. And in here under select mission, I'm going to save mission name as a variable. Call that mission name. And update our onClicked event for the button. So in here now we're sending the mission name. All right, so the flow is effectively that you go into the mission, you interact with the mission table. You're given your list of missions. When you click on one, it's saving that information, including this. When you click the button, it will send along the mission name and the level to load level. Oops, double clicking, that doesn't work. In game mode, load level will set the mission name in the game instance and then open the level. Because game instance is persisting data across maps, when we get into that level, mission name is still set to the appropriate mission. Inside of that mission, when the mission gets completed, then we're calling the complete mission function in the game instance, making this mission name valid, and we're just adding the mission name to our completed missions list. So then back when we are in our mission table, when update mission list, when update mission list is called, it will call GetMissions on the game mode. Again, double clicking that goes to the interface. So GetMissions on our game mode, that's when we're only returning things that are either repeatable or not in the completed missions list. So if we run that, interact with the table, we can see our two usual missions. Select the second one, hit load, switch to the assault rifle, kill some enemies, reload, kill them very slowly. All right, now when we leave mission, we're back in here. We load up that UI again, and something went wrong. Aha. Ah, okay. Meant to do this when I first created the game instance. remembered while I was in the game mode, but I didn't want to do it in there and interrupt the flow per se. So the reason why that didn't work is because our game instance is not being used. So kind of like how our game mode is either set per map in the world settings, game mode override, and can also be set in the project as a default game mode. The game instance needs to be set in our maps and modes section under game instance class. So with that set, do the same thing, do that, go to the second mission. As a reminder, some title was a mission that is repeatable, some other title is a mission that is not repeatable. I'll go in here, I'll use the shotgun instead. Spam it, because there's no animation. All right, now when we leave that mission, go here, the non-repeatable mission is completed and gone. We'll do it with the first mission, go in there. Kill all the enemies, leave mission, we go back to our table, and again, this is a repeatable mission, so it still shows up. If I stop and then run this again, however, you will see that this one is back. That's because game instance is persisted across maps, but it's not being saved to disk or anything. We can do that in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and would like to see more, you know what to do. And if you would like to support this channel, or you just want to download the project files, you can do so through my Patreon linked below.